Hi, I'm Donna and this is Charlotte. We're from Pimms and Needles. Thank you for listening to our podcast. This is brought to you with Point North.
It's funded through a fund called Enriching Later Lives, and it's in conjunction with and to support our men's group, which is called Old Dogs New Tricks. And it's all about supporting men in midlife and facilitating healthy habits going into their senior years.
So we hope you enjoy it. Well, hello, Gareth. How are you doing? So it's lovely of you to join us. Really excited to have you here. So I think just to get things going, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you do? Where do you begin?
Yeah.
Where do we begin?
How would you describe what you do?
That's an interesting. Yeah, that is an interesting one.
Big question.
It's a big question. So I suppose the hobbies as such, really. But I'm a stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. Sort of in the early years, if you like, of being a stand-up comedian, and also a poet. And I do a bit of both of those things.
So what came first?
Poetry came first. Okay. Poetry came first. It's an interesting story. So, is it an interesting story?
I'm sure
picking
it
myself
is.
up a bit there. It's an interesting story. It might not. It might be a really boring, awful story. So what happened was, I was going through let's just say there was a relationship breakdown.
Okay.
And I was going through from a really long-term relationship, kids, all that, and it went a bit south, shall we say, and I was going through a tough time. Mm. And at the time, I was also in quite a stressful job building a record factory. That's a total separate sideline, if you like. But I was building a record factory, and in the stressful job, one of the guys who worked in the lab in the record factory was a poet, and he said to me, I didn't have the kids that night. They were staying at the mum's, and I was a bit sad to go home, and he said, "Just come to my poetry night," and I was like, "A poetry night? What?" And he said, "No, come to my poetry night. Like, you'll enjoy it, I promise." Like, I'm a football geezer. What do you mean, go to a poetry night? Like, what you on about? Anyway, I went, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. Do you know what I mean? All these people just got up and sort of. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, they're not Shakespeare, do you know what I mean? But they got up and they just, it was all like real emotions, and one minute you're laughing your head off, and then there was some really strong emotional stories, and I just went out going, how good was that? And what a nice little crowd. It wasn't a big event. What a nice little crowd. How good's that? And on the way home, I just had like a couple of lines kicking around in my head. Like, I didn't.
You inspired.
I haven't got an English GCSE, by the way. I mean, that's a slight exaggeration, but it's not that far from the truth. And I did go to Norton School. No one got a GCSE of any description.
They're on your CV that you've got them though.
You know, Donna. So yeah, they are. Yeah. So I went, and I had all this, and I told him the next day. I said, "Hey, thanks. We're at work." I said, "Thanks for that. It was amazing." I said, "I've got these like mad lines running around my head." Anyway, he come back after dinner with this like lovely leather-bound book. Since got stolen in a car, but anyway, this lovely leather-bound book that was. He said, "That's so you can write down your thoughts and do some." And then the next month, I was performing poetry.
Wow!
Like performing poetry. Like I'd never wrote anything. I'd never been creative in my life. Performing poetry, and then through that. Really helped me, to be fair. Like really helped the state of mind I was in and all that, and sort of gave me a voice to things that had been bugging me for ages, which was weird.
I was going to ask you what was coming out. Was it the things that
interestingly, at the time, that first that original poem stuff, it wasn't so much about me and the mental health. It was more about annoying conversations that I'd had about like. Basically, I look a certain way, right? And I look slightly different now, but I looked a certain way even more so, where I was fat, bald and white, do you know what I mean, for want of a better way of putting it, right? So people would have uncomfortable conversations with us about like, just off the cuff, like racist remarks, so I agree with them. And that used to really annoy me. So a lot of my early poetry was just being really annoyed about racism, really. And a lot of that stuff, and then only later on did I sort of dare go into my real feelings and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was a lot of that sort of thing, yeah. And then over time with doing the poetry and being comfortable on stage and hosting the night, I ended up taking over the night because that's the nature of the beast, innit? So I ended up taking over the poetry night itself and was hosting it every month. And through that and sort of comedians would sometimes come and try out new material because it was a really nice audience and it was dead easy. And I got persuaded to enter a stand-up competition. I didn't. I got persuaded to do a gig, and it turned out to be a stand-up competition. And then it went from there. I started doing stand-up from there, and I love it. It's the best thing I've ever done in my life, and I've never been happier.
That's amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it? To think that if you just hadn't said yes to that thing, that your friend... You obviously... What were your preconceived ideas about that situation? What did you think you were walking into?
I thought it was going to be like... I genuinely thought it was going to be like... loads of people, like, you know, trying to be like super intellectual and that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to be like, I want to learn as a crowd and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that wasn't even the right words. That's how much I know about poetry. And then I thought it was going to be all that sort of stuff. All that nonsense, if you like. And a load of, like, you know... just
highbrow words that you're not
and people
that you can't relate to.
Because what I did know is some poetry nights they'll like click each other when they're doing well, like, and all that. And did you not know that?
No.
Yeah, right. So you really like poetry night. I'm gonna have loads of poets like go mad here, but do you know what I mean? But they like click each other.
Really?
I find that really off-putting and annoying.
Yeah, like instead of like applauding them at the end and stuff like that. And I thought it was going to be all that. I knew that bit. I don't know why I knew that bit, but I did. And I thought it was going to be all that, you know what I mean? And very like, and it wasn't at all. It was just like proper people, just nice people. Do you know what I mean? And just, and just a really nice environment. And at the time, it was perfect for where my head was.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Did you just instantly feel like, do you know what? I feel like I fit in this place.
Yeah, no, I remember I was really on edge, to be fair, and there was a few people that I knew there because there was a few other people from work, and there was a fellow who's since passed away now called we used to call him Papa, and he was there with his wife, and so that was like comfortable because there was a few people, and he was sound. He was one of the best blokes you'll ever meet, and I was just a bit, and then I remember this girl got up and just did a poem about her mum and her dad and that, and I was just like, hey, that was good, that. You know what I mean? And then everyone gave it a... And then there was, you know, my mate did, but I'd never seen him perform poetry, and he was doing his, and it was like about drinking in his front garden. Do you know what I mean? Like with his family and that on a sunny day, and having an argument about whether to sit in the back garden or the front garden. Just stuff was done. And I've just thought, this is class. Do you know what I mean? And then,
And had you been like, were you interested in writing or
Never
sort of create? I was going to say, do you creative or has that been an interest before?
Never. Not like I can't stress enough. Like not a thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I talked a lot of nonsense. I'm trying not to swear in that, but I've talked a lot of crap over the years. Do you know what I mean? But I'd never like wrote stuff down.
So did you find it quite cathartic, or you know, you were talking about your mental health struggles at the time?
Yeah.
Was that an outpouring, or did you use it as a sideline and just thought, I'm going to just be creative?
Well, it was a bit. I didn't think I'm just going to be creative. I had these lines in me. I was driving to work the next day, and the factory was in Middlesbrough and I live in Durham, right? So I was driving to work the next day, and I just had these lines, like, just because am I allowed to swear? I don't know whether I'm allowed to swear. No. All right. Well, I just had these.
You're the first person that's asked us that.
Right. Well, the first line in my head was, just because I'm fat, bald and white doesn't mean I want to listen to you racist. Yeah.
You could probably say that word.
Right. Well, yeah, just because I'm fat, bald and white doesn't mean I want to listen to your racist shite.
Yeah.
It was this word that was in my head.
Yeah.
This line that was just in my head, and then I started thinking about other things that went with it. And then I sort of had half a thing put together by the time I got to work.
It's incredible, isn't it, that?
Yeah, but I'm a bit mental, right? So that's probably the wrong word, and I use words for a living, you know. But I'm a bit. I've got a touch of the ADHD and that. So I didn't know that then, either, by the way. it's like I just like focus on things I know that now I know what it is. Do you know what I mean? So then that was like all these different words going around in my head was me just like formulating all that stuff.
It is.
So do you think everyone's got a poet inside them?
Yes,
Do you?
I genuinely do. Anyone can like. I'm not a good poet. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, let's get this straight. I'm not a good poet. Like,
I think all of the awards and things that you've won would say otherwise.
But like, I'm not like. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like this intellectual. Like, the daft rhymes. Like a lot of proper poems, they don't rhyme. You know.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Anyway, I make like daft rhymes and it's all in my language. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like...
It is very real.
But creativity is creativity, isn't it? It's like saying, I'm not a great artist because I'm not painting something that looks as like a photograph. But that's not good art, is it?
Yeah. I'm not doing the Sistine Chapel.
It's your own thing, isn't it?
And it's my voice. That's the thing. And everyone has a voice, don't they? Do you know what I mean? And I guess stand-up's a continuation of that, where, you know, I'm just talking about my life and my experiences and just trying to make it funny. And hopefully sometimes I do. Do you know what I mean? So
how did people react to you when you said then at that point in your life, oh, you know, I'm writing poetry.
Oh, people found it mental.
What did they think?
Like people, it was just, hey.
What do your kids think?
Oh no, my kids think it's fun. Now, what's interesting is obviously I've got two teeth. I've got a 25-year-old daughter who. She was a singer in a band. She was on stage performing before I was. So to her, it's kind of normal. Like, oh, yeah, that's how... And she was with me, actually, on that first night. So she was with me on that first poetry night. And she was there the second time when I got up to perform. So she just got it from stage. But my teenage boys, like, they weren't then. They were sort of pre-teen, I think it was 5 years ago. And they were like... They just found it weird. But now, like, all their friends all follow me on TikTok and Instagram and all that, and it's sound. And I did. Oh wow, this is. So I put a clip on the other day of my stand-up comedy. I know I jump all over. Sorry, right, but I put a clip on the other day of my and let's just say it was about a very adult subject, right? But before it, Freddie's in my house with his mate, or he's my 14-year-old, and I said, "Look, Freddie, I might post this, but I need to know you're happy with it." Right, and it's about me. How can I put it? I can't believe what it. Yeah, I don't know how to do it in a like a non. But it's let's say it's about an act.
Okay, right? We can imagine what that is.
Yeah. And I said, you know, I don't want, and obviously all your mates follow, isn't that? He's like, oh no, it's sound, they all think you're funny. So it was like,
that's it. That's all you need.
You've got the approval from a teenager.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if my dad, well, my dad did worse, but anyway, I was like, if one of my parents when I was a kid had put on a video like that, I'd have got tortured. Do you know what I mean? Like tortured. But he's just like, oh, my mates think you're funny anyway, so it doesn't matter. I was like, all right, so.
That's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like if you ever ask your teenager, like, do I look all right? And they say, you look all right. You think, God, I look mint.
I look amazing. Yeah.
No, but let's get this clear. Let's get this clear. They don't think I'm funny at all.
No.
Right.
But the mates do.
That's going to be one of our questions.
So the daughter thinks I'm funny.
Yeah.
She comes to my gig, she thinks I'm funny. The two teenage boys, all their mates think I'm funny, but they don't think I'm funny
right.
at all.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
That's kind of
like,
standard,
and he'll even say, like, I'll show him a video of me performing at the stand. Like, so I did the stand the other week, and it was a good gig. It's 300 people, like, it's a mint gig. And he's just going, why is everyone laughing? You're just saying things. Why are they laughing at you? You're not even funny. Like, that's the crack. Do you know what I mean?
That's kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
They'll probably come round in about 10 years' time and they'll be like, Dad, I'm so proud that you did that, you know, and you'll think,
who knows?
Get in.
Who knows?
They get drunk one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
What about...
He plays golf anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
He's more embarrassing than me.
Could you read us some of your poetry? Or one of your poems?
Yeah, I suppose. I'll do one about men's mental health, shall I?
Oh, that would be perfect.
This is an interesting one. So I wrote this because, it's quite personal to me. But the other day, I did a comedy gig. Well, was it a comedy gig? It wasn't meant. I was booked as a comedian. So I'm just getting it up on my phone, sorry. But I was booked as a comedian to do Darling Majestic the other day, but it was for Darling Mind. So I was hosting the night and just having a bit of crack and playing daft games and that. And where the hell is this? Just having, I will find it, 2 seconds, there we go. Just having a bit, like doing some cracking audience work and stuff like that for Dialect Mind. So because it was Dialect Mind, I said before I went into break, I said, you don't mind, I'm just going to do you a poem. So I did this poem and it kind of stormed it, to be fair. And although I called myself Gareth the Poet for the first 2 years of comedy, which I'll get into that in a bit because there was an interesting thing I did there, which I don't do now. So they didn't know I was going to do a poem, and I did it, and it went really well. And then I've been asked to go into, on the back of this poem, I didn't know, but this was weird. So this woman comes up to me at the end, she goes, I really liked your poem. How would you feel about going to Dearborn prison? I said, well, I've managed to avoid it so far. And like all the lads I went to school with. And she said, no, to come and speak to the come and speak to the inmates.
That would be amazing.
I'd like you to do your poem. And I said, I'd love to. Yeah, that would be absolutely brilliant. So she's emailed me this morning, so that looks like it's going to happen. So it was good. And
so you're now Gareth the comedian?
No, I'm just Gareth Harrison.
Are you just Gareth?
Yeah, just Gareth Harrison. That's my comedy name. So for the first 2 years, I was Gareth the Poet. One, I did it because when they said Gareth the Poet, I knew everyone in the audience, and on a comedy night, everyone would be like, and then I step out and go, whoa. And that was why I did it. It was a big impact, and it got me to do loads of things. But, well, you thought I was I can't do any of my comedy because it's just far too inappropriate. But, you know, I wasn't what you were expecting along them lines. And, you know what I mean? You'd expect me to be painting roundabouts, and I'm actually a poet and all that sort of stuff. But I did that for 2 years because there was a bit of a delayed one there, wasn't it? But I've always read. I've been into poetry, been into comedy since I was 18. I wanted to be a stand-up comic since I was 18. I've always thought I was hilarious. Many people wouldn't agree, and I've never had the bottle to do it. But I've read pretty much every comedian's autobiography you can think of. And a lot of them say you shouldn't call yourself a comedian until you've done 100 gigs.
Oh,
so I used the moniker Gareth the Poet as a little thing to me. You go, until I've done 100 gigs, I'm not going to call myself Gareth Harrison.
Love that.
So that's why I was called Gareth the Poet. I didn't actually ever do poetry in my stand-up gigs, really. Like the odd time I would, but very rarely. And it was,
And do you, sorry, I know you're going to read your poem, but just this one question while it's in my mind. So do you go in and think, I'm going to do a straight set? I know what I'm going to start with, what the middle's going to look and what, or do you sort of freestyle it for whoever's in the audience?
Yes, a bit of both. So it depends. So if I'm hosting, so if I MC a lot of gigs, which not all new comedians do, if you like, but I MC a lot of gigs, always do, because I was MCing and hosting before I was a comedian.
Yeah.
So on an MC night, I would probably do 2 to 3 minutes of my normal material, even though I probably do on stage for half an hour in total over the night. I probably do 2 to 3 minutes of normal material. All the rest is just audience interaction, off the cuff, having a bit crack. And then I've probably got a bank of, you've got a bank of loads of material, if you like. And you can, if you've got so at the minute I'm working stuff because I'm going to Edinburgh. So I'm working new stuff to go to Edinburgh with. So I'll be trying a lot of that, but fitting it into bits that I've already done, or then you're expanding bits. And so you do have like a set, do you know what I mean? Like,
depending on the audience, you can pull the right kind of jokes.
Yeah, but if I go into, I do a lot of stuff. My daughter's a lesbian, and I do a lot of stuff about her being a lesbian and my take on it and all that sort of stuff. And it's very LGBT friendly, obviously. And how I'm proud, and I get to go to Pride without having to admit the act I was alluding to earlier, and all that sort of stuff. And I do all that stuff, and but that only really works, or like lesbians now own the brand Carhartt that I was wearing in the 90s, for example. So I do it like it's a lesbian brand now. It's not. It's my brand. So I do a bit about that when there's a good. But if it's that's great if you're in the Stand or in the Frog and Bucket in Manchester, where it's a very diverse audience. If I'm in I do gigs in Stanley, in Newton Acre Social Club, etc.
Yeah.
You don't labour on them bits quite so much because them reference points don't quite work as much. Do you know what I mean? So So it just depends.
Really
So reading the room, I guess.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's definitely part of it, and it's all still. I'm still learning. Do you know? What I mean? Like I've only done 130 gigs or whatever, so I'm still like very much still learning the trade. I'm quite lucky that I've played some great clubs and I've had some great opportunities and that, but I am still very much a new comedian in that sense. So that's all stuff I'm still learning. But which is why I'm looking forward to going to Edinburgh.
I think Edinburgh would be a massive challenge, won't it?
Is that your first time?
No, so I went to, we just did like 2 days last year. We just went up there for 2 days and did like a couple of shows, jumped on a couple of compilation shows. And what's interesting this year is I'm going up and doing a double header with my comedy partner, if you like, where I do half an hour, they do half an hour. Right. So we're sharing an hour, which is our show. But at 5:15 on the night, for an hour, 4 nights that we're there, we're taking Godful, our poetry and comedy show, so our poetry show, and getting real poets from the northeast to come. So we've got like Brian, who's nearly 90. I'm not allowed to tell anyone that, but he's 89-year-old.
Wow.
He never performed poetry until he came to our night. And he's wrote it all his life. So we're getting Brian to come up, and which is really good.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Like, so some real Teesside, northeast voices in Edinburgh doing poetry, like amazing, as part of the Fringe. And, you know, I've got, my daughter's old bandmate who she does some like songs, but really like good sort of songs that are about mental health and all that. So she's going to perform, and loads of other, you know, some really good people. And then we'll put a bit of comedy in it as well because we're at Edinburgh, and it'll be a lovely little 1 hour compilation that's going to be mint. And I'm looking forward to that just as much as I'm looking forward to doing my own show, if you like. Just for me to have the opportunity to give these people that wouldn't be heard at Edinburgh, if you like, not that we're going to have a massive audience and all, but you know what I mean, the chance to go and play it, and we've pulled it together.
What was the turning point then for your friend who's 89? Or when did he get the confidence to think, I'm going to
That's an interesting one. So he's been writing poetry all his life.
Yeah.
And my tattoo artist, my friend Ricky, who does all these stupid crap tattoos I've got. No, they're really good, Rick. It's about the process more than the finished.
That's what we say, don't we?
He's mates with it. He used to work for him years ago, so he knew he was a poet.
Right.
And Ricky said one day, "Can I bring my mate to your poetry show?" He's in his 80s. And I said, "Yeah, of course you can." He said, "Will you be able to get up and perform?" He's been writing poetry all his life. Anyway, I said, "Yeah, of course you can, but I'd love that. It'd be mint." So Bri comes and gets up, and he'd never read a poem out loud. Do you know what I mean? And then everyone applauded him at the end, and he didn't know what to do with himself. He was like tears in his eyes and everything. Didn't know what to do. He never had feedback. Do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't know what to do. And now he's, to be fair, you can't get him off the stage, you know. He's like...
created a monster.
Oh, a massive monster. Do you know what I mean? And if anyone else is on too long, he'll start because he thinks he can get away with murder because he's old. And he'll be like, "He's been on ages, Gareth." And like... Right, you're deaf, like everyone can hear you. Do you know what I mean? Like, shh. And but then when he's up getting him, "I'll just do one more." Right, all right, yeah, sound. But
I think that's amazing, though, isn't it? Because he's obviously got something from writing the poetry all his life.
Yeah.
But then to perform it, he's getting something else from that.
Oh yeah, he loves it. He loves it, and we've used him on the poster for the Edinburgh show. So the poster is literally it's just a picture of Bri
what a lovely
performing.
story.
Yeah. No, it's class.
Come on,
need to hear this more.
Yeah, we need it.
So this is I'm also one of them terrible poets who can't actually remember any of the words. I've got too much stand-up material in my head. That's my excuse. So I do have to read them. I do apologise, but this is called "Don't Man Up," and it's basically about men's mental health, and you'll see anyway. So this is "Don't Man Up." Toxic masculinity has damaged us, and it started in the early years. It was always, "I'll give you something to cry about," every time you shed a few tears. You were told, "Take it in the chin, be strong," when we were upset or scared. And if we tried to talk about it, it was just, "Shut up, you're funny, no one cares." This wasn't just at home either, it was everywhere you looked. Now people are surprised that these men are mentally effed up. Man up, hit him harder. Don't be a puff, lad. Be strong. These may have been said with good intentions, but these messages were so wrong. So we all grew up trying to prove ourselves and be the big hard man. We stopped sharing when we were struggling, and it's only recently we were told that we can. And it's hard for us to be open and talk when we feel sad or weak, because for all our lives we were told to keep those feelings inside and definitely not to speak. Well, balls to that. Don't man up, speak up, open up to your family and friends, because I can guarantee they would rather listen to your problems and feelings than come to terms with your tragic end. And them tragic ends are an awful reality for many men that still choose not to speak, because brutally in this country we lose more than 80 of these men every week. So if someone's gone quiet, reach out, check that they're okay, because it may seem like a small thing, but it could make a difference to their day. They might open up, they might not, but at least they'll know that you're there. I know in times that I'm struggling, it just helps me to know someone cares. And if you do find yourself struggling, please don't keep them thoughts to yourself. You don't need to man up and keep it all in, because we all know that destroys mental health. And that can seem really difficult because of these messages you've been told all your life. But believe me, that's all knackers, and you'll feel loads better for sharing all your head shite. So don't man up, speak up, talk to someone, anyone that you can, because over 80 fellas a week choose not to. And I don't want you to be one of them, my man. That's it.
Oh, it always makes me cry.
No, it's so powerful.
Times. It kills me.
It's a genuine thing. Do you know what I mean? It helped me. I went through stuff in my life that without people I love being there, I probably wouldn't have made it through. Do you know what I mean? And it's so important. And
I think everything that you could say to someone, you sort of summarised in that poem, really.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because it is. It's just,
a really relatable.
It's just so important. I'll tell you an interesting story about that poem, actually. And it was probably the biggest impact it's ever had for me. I did a comedy gig at Cowden Club. Oh. I don't know whether you're aware of Cowden Club.
We have, yeah.
A few
Yeah.
sessions about Cowden Club before.
Right, okay. Well, I don't have a strong desire to ever go back. But I did it. I got asked to do it was a footballer doing it was Mickey Quinn, the footballer, was doing a sportsman's dinner. But it was definitely, or I thought it was a sportsman's dinner. They told me it was a sportsman's dinner. You'll just warm up the crowd a bit. All right, yeah, so. It was pie and pea supper with a load of absolute lunatics. The footballer went on first and did a bit, and they weren't even listening to him. I thought, this is the worst possible gig I could do here. For a comedy show, everything about it was wrong. So I went on, and there was, there were the few people at the front were engaged, and people but at the back they were just rowdy. And it was a difficult. Let me just say, it was a difficult gig. Mick Fieldson, thanks for booking us. Appreciate it. And I just thought, you know what it is? If I'm going to leave them with anything, these are the type of blokes who need to hear this. So I just totally changed tack. And I just went, I've got something to share with you. Until you shut up, I'm not going to do it. And I just got in this 5-minute battle of wills, and eventually they all shut up. Right. And I said, right, I'm doing you a poem now. Shut up. I know what you all think, but just listen to it for 2 minutes. And I did. And I walked off the stage to a standing ovation, and I couldn't get out the door because they're all shaking my hands, because every single person in that room knew someone who hadn't spoke up.
Yeah.
For want of a better way of putting it. And I couldn't get out and it was, do you know what I mean? And you go, yeah, it was an awful gig, never want to do it again, but at least I've left them with something.
You've got your message.
You know what I mean?
You've got that across.
And these are the type of blokes who don't talk to each other, do you know what I mean, necessarily about these things. And and there was a bloke who come up, and an older fella come up, and he was nearly in tears going, I lost someone last year and all that. And it was just amazing, to be fair, that you can impact with my nonsense words, you can impact.
They're not nonsense. They're
no, but
no, I know what you're saying, but they're so relatable and so powerful, aren't they? And I bet everyone in that room was probably like, oh yeah, I was told shut up, don't be a fanny. That's how it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely was. It was on the telly advertising and that, do you know what I mean? Yorkie bars for girls and all that. Wait, mate. This was the message we were sent, and then, you know what I mean? You don't, you keep it all in, and it's not good for people.
So are you doing more on the mental health side then? Is that something that you'd want to support? Like,
yeah, not always. Yeah, like it's like the lady who came up and said, "Will you go to Dearborn?" Yeah, I'd love to. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I can get the opportunity to work in mental health, to help people at all in any way, shape, or form, I'll always take it because it really did. You know, it's so important. Like, I've been there. Do you know? I've been there. Like, I'm over it. Like, no. Do you know what I mean? Like, I still have bad days. Do you know what I mean? Of course I do. So and that helps me as well if I'm from a purely selfish point of view. Do you know what I mean? Like, being able to make a difference to someone else helps my validation, if you like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your self-worth and all that. So anything I can ever do to get involved is something I'll always take with open arms. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, it's fantastic. I think it's amazing doing that. And when you go into Dearborn, what are they?
Well, the
Do
idea
they want
was,
you to
she wants
recite poetry?
Yeah, she wants me to recite that poetry and some others and talk to them about maybe even, you know,
starting a program like
to get
that
them to open up a little
yeah,
bit.
it's hard to get, and if any of them want to write, or if do you know what I mean, have a go yourself, all that, and just because the point is, I'm not what they think of a poet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm not, and I'm just a geezer like them.
Yeah.
And, only through a bit of luck, I'm not in their position. Do you know what I mean? For want of a better way of putting it.
It's breaking down the barriers, isn't it? It's,
so I'm a bit more relatable than some, you know what I mean, than some bloke going in and going, oh, you should write poetry now. But yeah, and having that conversation about my own mental health struggles and being that open and honest about it all.
Isn't it?
It's not brave though, is it?
It is though.
I
mean, you standing in front of that club and counting and actually thinking, right, oh God, this is going the wrong way, but so I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to be so vulnerable. I'm going to just see what the impact is. Like, that's brave.
Yeah, but is it brave or is it
the compliment?
I don't know, but in all seriousness, right? Is it brave or is it me going, if I throw that at them, I'll get to walk out of here with a bit of validation? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know, but it might have gone the other way. You didn't know, did you?
Oh, could have, like, but well, I guess that's.
I think putting your feelings on the line as well, like you're pouring your heart and soul out onto a piece of paper and then standing up there and seeing what the reaction is, and it's kind of like, have you ever been in a situation where where you've done some comedy and everyone's just looked at your stony face? Unless it's your kids, has anyone else ever done that?
I've been lucky, to be fair, in that everyone dies, right? Every comedian dies. I've been really lucky that I haven't had it. I've had one gig where, and it was all right, although I nearly quit. And I've had one gig where I didn't do as well as I thought I should have. And it was me, I just went out wrong. And it really affected us. I've had other gigs where it didn't go as well as I thought it should, but that one particularly was a really big gig in my head. And then I just went in all wrong and I messed it up and I was really annoyed with myself. I've had a handful of gigs where it didn't go as well. I've never had them like proper, like, and I've been lucky because that can happen to a pro comedian.
Yeah.
Like that can happen to like a real high level comedian. And it's good luck, not good judgment. You know what I mean?
You've got to be so resilient, though. Like, that must build resilience in you. Like, being able, like you say, going out there, putting it all on the line, seeing what the response is. Sometimes it's really
not really.
bad.
Like, Donna, I've been in sales all my life. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
you've done that a million times before.
Yeah, this is it. You know,
well,
like
rejection is always an old friend.
Yeah, rejection is an old friend.
Maybe that's the key to being a successful comedian.
No, and there's a lot of similarities in that, like. That rejection you take because the validation of doing it right is so massive.
Yeah.
Right? So that self-worth of like, I won them over, I got the deal, and they must have liked me enough to do whatever. Comedy's just that, but like super turbocharged. Do you know what I mean? Like it is, and there's gigs that are hard, and there's gigs where absolutely like nerves don't even come into it.
What does your prep look like? Do you get yourself psyched up? Do you think, I always listen to this song like the time on the stage?
I just get super giddy because the adrenaline just starts like really going, and then sometimes you even feel sick, and then sometimes. And what's interesting, right, is every time I walk from the side of stage to the first time it really happened, I was on at the Majestic actually in the main room. It was about my 8th gig, and as soon as I went to put my foot forward, my mind just went, the voice in my head just started going, you don't know anything you're going to say. You don't know anything. You can't think of a single word. Like, you don't know anything you're going to say. And if I've got a video, and if you watch the video, I actually walk like a bit further away and then go with the mic. And as soon as you start, to be fair, you just go bang, 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 and then you'll have an interaction with an audience, and then you'll go, right, I need to get back at you. And it just somehow, it just sort of comes together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that now happens all the time. So pretty much 80% of my gigs, I'm walking to that mic stand thinking, you don't know anything you're going to say. Yeah? But when you see me, like, and I don't even realise I'm doing it to a certain extent. So, like at the stand or whatever, I'm just like pacing up and down. We were doing a decent gig at Frog and Bucket, and one of the comedians messaged me afterward, and your dancing before I went on was just really helping my nerves. And I didn't even know I was doing it. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just like, I'm just like the adrenaline, because I am how I am. Like, I've always been a bit manic. Do you know what I mean? So when I'm
pumped up,
Yeah.
ready to go.
Yeah.
You've got to trust that you will do it. Something will come and it will happen. And you've done it before, you can do it again.
Yeah. And there's times you get a bit lost and you think, where am I? But because of the nature of how I am on stage as well, I can literally just, because everyone knows I'm a bit manic. What was I talking about again? And I can even turn it into a bit of a joke, and I sort of get away with it sometimes like that, where it's just like I make out like I'm playing an act of being a manic person, when in reality I am just a very manic person.
Because I know I've seen a couple of not proper high level comedians, like your big names.
Yeah.
And then I've seen them on Netflix, and word for word, it's exactly this. And that's just a disappointment, because you think you want to feel like that they've given that comedy and it's all off the cuff, and but they've literally just
that's the art,
rehearsed a script.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just felt like...
because there is that element, do you know what I mean? Like, if you went and seen me on Tuesday, and then you went to see me on Thursday, like, there is points that I've got to get to that will be like...
That would trigger the next
point C, point B, point E. Do you know what I mean? Now, I might go weird, and do you know what I mean? But I'm still going to take you through most of the same. And some bits of it will be worded exactly the same. I might detour it, I might change it. I'm tweaking it all the time, because I'm new, so I'm working my stuff. And especially I'm trying to come up with a 30-minute solid from Edinburgh to there, so I can do that, so I can go bang, 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 and it'll be the same every day.
Is that the goal then?
Well, I don't think I'll ever be that, like, I don't think, because of the way I am on stage, I don't think I'll ever be quite that structured, where every single word is exactly the same, because I like to have crack with the audience. I like to just, my biggest problem is timing, really. Like, sometimes I go over my time and I get into trouble. And at places like the Stand, for example, that is really strict, because that's a big comedy club. That is really strict, and so you've got to I've got to be uber careful. Do you know what I mean? But some of my smaller gigs, I'm terrible. I remember the first time I was booked to do a 10. It was about my fourth gig, and I did 22 minutes.
And how long were you meant to do?
10. 10. And I even turned around, I even said to the MC, is this all right? Like, he went, oh, it's sound. And I just kept going.
In the moment.
Yeah, I did 22 minutes on my first time I was ever booked to do a 10.
So how would your 20-year-old self, if you could go back, would your 20-year-old self believe that you were sat here today and talking about...
Not at all. So 18-year-old, I went to the Ark, and it just opened, the Ark in Stockton. It's not called the Ark, actually. I've recently learned that it's called Ark, and you get into trouble if you call it the Ark, because the Ark's what Noah had. Anyway, I went to Ark in Stockton and seen Lee Mack comparing with Adam Bloom and Booth Biggerford. Now, you might not know who they are, right? You obviously know who Lee Mack is. Adam Bloom, interestingly, is probably wrote the Bible for stand-up comedians. So he's like super famous because he wrote this like super good book, and he's been a comedian for years, and he's wrote for like every single comedian show, everything you can think of. But it was Lee Mack specifically. I remember watching Lee Mack. He was only a young lad then, like weighed about 8 stone, and I remember watching, just going, I'd literally chop my leg off now to get up on that stage and do that. And it took me to have a breakdown in my late 40s to go, yeah, let's give it a go. And so I would have never in a million years believed that I would have ever had the bottle beyond anything else.
And do you think you'd have ever jumped straight from where you were into comedy, or do you think that the poetry had to come?
There's certain things, I was talking about this the other day, right? So there's certain things had that not happened, I would never have got on a stage. My daughter being in a band for 10 years meant I would have never, because for 10 years I was like, smile, shut up, tell her what, do you know what I mean? And like watching her and I probably wouldn't have developed that.
The confidence.
Yeah.
Had I not seen her perform at a good level.
She was amazing.
Yeah, well, she was all right. And had I not seen that wouldn't have helped. Had I not ever done poetry, I definitely wouldn't have done it. So there's all these different things that are, and let's be fair, had my life not absolutely fell apart, I probably wouldn't have done it. Well, I wouldn't have, because I wouldn't have been a poet in the first.
The start of a new chapter. I mean, we've just set up a men's group, haven't we? It's in its 4th month now. So we've been running Pims and Needles for 10 years. We've set up this men's group. We're saying, come along. We're going to trust us. We're going to do something different every time, every month. You're going to be out your comfort zone. What would you say? It's aimed at sort of midlife, you know, probably where you kind of were. What would you say to them? How important is it to actually go, put yourself out there, out your comfort zone and do something, try something new? How important is that?
Oh, no, it's unbelievably important. Like, I talk about the fact that my life fell apart and all that, right? And it did. Trust me, I am happier now than I have ever been in my entire life. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, my life, I mean, I still have all this usual, I'm a single dad to 2 teenage boys, I've got money troubles, I've got all that, like, that everyone has, do you know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter what I earn, I'm an idiot. Like, I'll never have enough, right? So, it has absolutely, like, I can't, it's changed my life. My life is better now than it has ever been in my life. And it's only because I did that. It's only because I went, go and do it. Do you know what I mean? Now, interestingly, again, like, I don't want to, I can't, I have a girlfriend. We don't live together, but I have a girlfriend, and she's got a work colleague who's having a bit of trouble at the minute. A bloke who's having a bit of trouble at the moment, and I was talking about it, and there's no one in his life. Like, there's literally no one in his life. What that man needs more than anything is a little network of people.
Yeah.
And how do you get a little network of people? It's by going to groups. It's by just putting yourself out there and doing these things. And it is so important. Do you know what I mean? Like, so important to just go and do things, literally, because we can all just sit and, especially now where the world's at your fingertips and all that, and social media and all that, just go out and do stuff. And that's the other thing. It's not just that validation of, like, I'm a stand-up comedian and people laugh at my jokes and all that I've thrived for all my life, to have people laugh at me. I mean, in the right way. They've laughed at me forever. But it's not only that, but I've met some unbelievable people. Do you know what I mean? And such diverse people. By doing this and by doing Brian, a good mate of mine in his 90s, I wouldn't have known someone. I wouldn't have hung about with someone in the.
It crosses over. It's intergenerational. Isn't it? It can be something you can do at any age.
Yeah.
And like you say, sometimes you meet people that you never would have crossed paths with before.
And it's brilliant,
isn't it?
And it's and there's some awful people in the world, right? Let's not pretend there isn't. There absolutely is, and you'll bump into them now and again. But by and large, people are sound,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And it's sometimes just how you approach things, isn't it?
This is your tagline. By and large, people are sound. That should be the country. Come to England.
But they are by and large, right? People, they're sound. They've got their own worries. They want to do what they want to do. They want to. Do you know what I mean? Most people are just trying to get on without bumping up so much. Do you know what I mean? Like and we can all be idiots. No one's mint. No one's awful. Like, we can all be idiots. And I'm probably more idiot than most. But, like, generally, people just want to be nice and want to have a good time and want to get to know people as well. And you might meet a knobhead. You might meet... Sorry, I'm swearing again. You might meet someone who you don't get on with. That's sound. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But you might do something amazing like you, and your whole life takes a different path. And it's putting yourself on the line, getting out your comfort zone.
If you'd have told me at 40 that I would be doing poetry, that I would be here on a podcast reading out a poetry about men's mental health, like about my own
journey,
and be talking about my mental health. I'd never admitted I had poor mental health to anybody, by the way, right? So this is an interesting one. I'd never admitted it to anyone, but if people were in trouble, I'd reach out to them secretly, right? And I did it to this lad, right? He won't mind me mentioning his name. He's called Adam Gallagher. He's a local music promoter. Munro, Famous Last Words is his thingy. Munro Festival is his festival. Really good kid, right? He was having some real trouble, real mental trouble. And he's more like, he's not close to my daughter in age, and he knew her really well because he's a music promoter, she was a musician. And I knew he was having trouble. So I reached out, oh, Adam, how are you doing? Listen, I'm always here to talk, blah, 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 and told him about my own struggles and all that, right? And he was like, oh, that was a real help. I didn't think no more of it, right? I'd never openly admitted my mental health to anyone else, right, really. Like, odd person, but like that conversation, but never openly, publicly. And then he was feeling great about 2 months later. And he went, Gareth, I had a great idea. I said, oh, what's that, Adam? I'm glad you're buzzing. What's that? He said, I'm going to do a video about men's mental health. I said, all right, yeah, class, yeah, it sounds like a great idea. Yeah, and you're going to be in it. It was like, really? He said, yeah, you don't mind being in it. You told me I've got to share my feelings with everyone, haven't you? So you've got to, haven't you? And I was like, oh, yeah. Like, I didn't realise, I just snooted myself to then be open and honest about my own mental health struggles, do you know what I mean? So we made this video, and it was just him asking questions, and we did it on Mental Health Week, and it was like a music video, but he was asking questions, and you were writing your answers, and it was cutting to different people write their answers on a board. It was a good little video, and that was the first time I'd ever actually opened up properly, publicly, or admitted anything to anyone other than, you know, and I'd been on antidepressants forever, do you know what I mean? I'd had some real... but, again, without that, I probably wouldn't have done everything else, do you know what I mean? So... And I wouldn't have had to openly, publicly say, you need to talk to each other, you know what I mean? I'd have been one of them blokes going, shut up, like, it's all right, man, you know what I mean? And then...
Well, it's so refreshing that you are so open, and it's been so nice talking so openly about it. And I think for anybody that's listening, like, they will have got a lot out of hearing your story and how you can change your life around, really. And,
well,
you know...
I hope so. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not like... performing brain surgery, you know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just a normal lad. Do you know what I mean? Well, normal's a stretch, but I'm just a middle-aged fella who's had some troubles and then jumped out a bit and went, I'll do this, and it's been mint. That's it. I'm not special. I can't stress enough. I'm not special. I'm just...
But it's inspirational for people. It is very inspirational.
I'm not... Well... If they get something from it, great. But the point is, I'm not anything that they can't be.
Anybody can do it, yeah.
I'm not anything that they can't be. I'm not, you know.
I think that's a lovely kind of sentiment to end on as well. Like, you know, just saying to people, anyone can do it. You've done it. Anyone can do it.
Yeah.
And it's been a total pleasure.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
Put all your details in the comments so people can stay in touch with you and
go to my gigs.
See you at the fringe.
I need to make some money.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.